Hello, everybody. It's Delusion Dispeller. I wanted to come to you tonight to let you know about a couple things that are happening regarding the 12 tribes. I am a life coach. I've been a life coach since about 2001. I'm an author of a couple ebooks, one on intermittent fasting and one on recovery from narcissistic abuse. I have been doing some research to expose a cult known as the 12 tribes. It's got a different name to the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 tribes of Commonwealth Israel, or something like that. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. At any rate, we just call them the 12 tribes or the TT. I've been trying to expose them for, I think it's close to a year now, hoping to keep people from joining and also hoping to open people's eyes to what's really going on behind the scenes. We only see the outside of things sometimes. And in this case, this cult wants you to only see the outside. They only want you to see the show they put on. They tell the children to behave really carefully around visitors, to make it look like everything's okay. They are not allowed to talk about the fact that they're beaten and abused. Many times the ones that are beaten and abused are hidden from the public eye. That's what a lot of people that are visitors there don't know. They are very crafty people. They're not dumb. And the higher up people are very dangerous people. And they don't want to cross them. Nobody does. Yeah, you don't want to tangle with the hierarchy in this group at all. The people that founded it, Eldon and his wife, his last name is Spriggs. I think her name is Marcia Spriggs, have been at this for a while. They started out, believe it or not, helping teenagers that were struggling. They opened up some type of a group to help them. I don't know all the ins and outs and the details about it, but it was a genuinely good effort that they had towards helping these teens. And unfortunately, this escalated into some power going to Eldon's head, and he decided he's going to start his own little group, religion type thing. And it had a different name. It goes by many different names. The community is another name that they go by, but there's many different names that they've had. They have a couple different businesses. The Yellow Deli is one of them, where they make very tasty, natural types of sandwiches and desserts and healthy things. They have a mate tea, which is supposed to be really good. Although I've tasted yerba mate that I bought at the store, and it really was not tasty. But this is all a front, and that's what you need to realize. These delis and the businesses they run and the factories that they have, which, by the way, children are actually employed in these factories. Hey, my daughter's here. Hey, Amber. And children are employed in these factories, so you're talking child labor, which we all know there are laws against that. Are trying to be exposing that on like local stations and stuff. Inside Edition did a report on the child labor going on in this cult. Now, of course, the cult leader said, oh, no, nothing's going on. It's not what you think. These children love to help their parents, and they're not here long hours working or anything like that. So they tried to cover it up. And basically, they aren't doing a really good job covering it up anymore because it's becoming very widespread that people know what's going on behind the scenes. And so right now, there's a lot more people than just me trying to expose this cult. And these cults are everywhere. In fact, I found out there's one back where I grew up and where I was raised in New York, Buffalo, New York, nonetheless, near Buffalo. And it's, again, a big front. It's all about, oh, we farm our own land and we're organic and natural and we feed our children healthy foods and all that kind of stuff. But it is all a big, huge front of deception to hide the fact that there are 6-month-old babies being beaten with balloon sticks, like those white sticks that you see, helium balloons on. Yeah, they're beating these little 6-month-old babies for not staying still when they're trying to diaper them and stuff like that, and hitting kids on the hands. And And we're not just talking hitting. You will see tomorrow, and that's why I came on to let you know about this. You'll see tomorrow where they talk about exactly how they're hitting these kids. Eldon Spriggs himself commanded his followers that if they don't leave marks, they're not beating the kids well enough. So they have to leave bloody marks and welts on these kids and bruises, or they're not considered good followers of Yahweh or Yahshua, as they call their God. And it's heartbreaking to see little babies being beaten, little toddlers being told to bend over and then beg for the spanking and thank the parent for doing it. It's just twisted. It's so twisted and very deceptive and dangerous and disgusting. And what I came on to tell you, I'm going to try to keep this somewhat brief, is that number one, A&E is doing a special on this group tomorrow, the 12 tribes. They're going to expose it even more and get a little bit more in depth into when religion becomes cultic and very dangerous, toxic. So be watching that tomorrow on A&E. I'm not exactly sure the time. As soon as I look it up and find it, I will post it on this live video so you'll be able to know when to tune in to A&E. That's one thing. And another thing is a man named Shelton is actually doing a report along with another man on the 12 tribes. And it's going to be very extensive. He is going to be talking to former ex-12 tribe members about what they experienced there. And you will find that these stories jive. I mean, they are all very cohesive. They all experienced very similar things. Definitely abuse, working long hours with very little pay. See, when you join this group, you are made to give up everything, literally. Just like in any cult, they love bomb you. They bring you into their dancing and their singing festivals, and they literally tell you, you can stay today, you can stay for a few days, you can stay for weeks, or you can stay for months or a lifetime. So it's up to you how long you want to stay in this place. And sadly, a lot of people join. They give up their cars, their homes, some of them their families, their jobs, and all money goes, of course, to the higher ups in the group. Obviously, to sustain a group of the sizes that they have them, they have to be able to afford housing and pay for the very little bit of meager food they feed their members. So you're talking about when you give all these things up, they sell them and get the money for them, and they support the tribe members that way, the cult members. So all of your, things that you worked so hard to earn are gone. As far as you're concerned, they take care of you. You eat what they tell you to eat. You work where they tell you to work and when and how often and how many hours. Plus, you have to get up early in the morning to go to quote unquote meetings. A lot of these meetings, I understand, are kind of like a prayer session, but then they have meetings also where they expose you to the whole group, where they'll, basically confront you on your quote unquote sin. Sometimes they make up stuff, sometimes they exaggerate things that aren't true, and they have your friends report you to the higher ups in the group. So you're all gathered in a room and you're being confronted in front of all these people for the wrongs that you supposedly did. They're blown way out of proportion and you are shunned, you are ostracized. Sometimes you're locked up, you're punished. Very often, if they decide that you're not the right wife for your husband or the right child for a family, they will separate families. They've been known to do that. They'll actually send the children away overseas sometimes to join another group where they lock them up and make them work and do all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that are extremely abusive. They have been known to bug phones, to beat adults. I mean, this place is absolutely horrendous, and I really am excited to see that it's being exposed on A&E tomorrow, and I hope you will tune in and watch it, and that you will also watch something called The 12, which will be a podcast. I don't know if he's actually going to videotape any footage of the interviews, but I know there will be a podcast. A lot of these ex-members are very hesitant to talk. They've been very deeply wounded. They're very scared and distrusting of people, as you can imagine. So it's very hard to even get interviews with them. I know, I have tried. I have not gotten any actual face-to-face on video interviews with any of them. Some of them will give me information. Some of them will do podcasts. I have not been successful at all in getting the interviews I would like to have to really expose this thing because they're scared, understandably so. Anyhow, I really hope you will tune in to the 12, which is coming in December. I'll also post a preview video for that, and as well as tomorrow on A&E, the Belief and Religions and Beliefs, I think it's called, and you'll learn about this cult a lot more and about how their children got taken away, but then they put them back with them, etc. It's just absolutely unbelievable and disgusting that this would be going on, especially in the United States, but anywhere, that these children would be put through this and given this attitude of we're just going to pretend like everything's okay. We're going to make the public think that we take great care of you and that you're happy little children, because really that's what the visitors see when they go there. They see little happy children, happy people, devoted to their God, dancing and singing and eating together. And it's just a big facade for a really bad, abusive, possibly sexually molesting group. So I do hope you'll tune into those things that I told you about, the 12 in December, and I'll be posting more and more information on this channel as well as A&E tomorrow. And I do hope that you will continue to expose this group and tell people to not join cults, to talk to people before they go and join any group, including business groups, which